Hi, Rich Willett from Inner Hero Martial Arts and Fitness, and today I just want to take a little bit of time to tell you the backstory of how we ended up with this system of merging Tony Robbins' success strategies with martial arts and fitness into this brand new system, and why I'm so passionate about it. I start back, my background, I'm originally from Northern Ontario, a little place called Kapuskasing, which means bend in the river in Cree. And just put in context where it is, if you look at a map of North America and you see the James Bay, big bay at the top, and there's a little bay sticking out from it, like a little nipple called the James Bay, and I was born and raised just 100 miles southwest of that area. So cold, not a lot going on other than maybe hockey and martial arts and a lot of snow and subarctic, so definitely a cold place to be. Grew up as someone who I really wasn't a very good learner, pretty shy. Probably shy because I wasn't a great learner. I didn't read very well, wasn't doing well in school, terrible speller. And in fact, one time, I think I was in the 7th or 8th grade, and we did a spelling test, sorry. And spelling mistake is right. So I'm in this school, and it's a French school. It's a predominantly French town, and I was, I guess, the English kid. And there's probably another reason why I was shy was, the English kid in a French school. And in this test, about a page and a quarter dictation, the teacher hands out at the end of the session everyone's marks, and comes up to me, and she looks me in the eye, and she's looking with disgust on her paper. And by the way, what I'm about to say, I know is politically incorrect. I'm just repeating what she said to me. Don't send me nasty emails. Anyways, she's looking at this dictation, a page and a quarter, and she looks at me and she says in French, "Richard, my God, who makes 54 mistakes in a page and a quarter of text? Are you stupid or are you retarded?" And I know it's not politically correct. I'm just saying what she was saying. And I tell you, the whole class is laughing. I'm already shy, and I'm feeling like, you feel yourself shrinking. You just want to disappear at that moment in time, and I'm just so embarrassed. And, she just kept saying, "Are you stupid or are you retarded?" And I could look in the mirror. I knew I didn't look like the kids who had Down syndrome, so I knew it wasn't retarded. So I guessed I must be stupid. And the funny thing is, just people in a position of authority, just telling you that one thing, and that little belief, that negative belief, stuck in my head as a kid, probably as a 13-year-old, and stayed with me for a long, long time, affecting my decisions and how I was going in life. And, and it's hidden in your subconscious, right? And you don't really know, that it was going on. So anyways, I also came from a modest family. We weren't poor, but we didn't have a lot, lived in an old house, old car, that kind of thing. My parents, gave us tons of love, always took care of us, but we didn't have a lot. And our friends used to, comment about the old house and so on. And at one point, these guys, I guess, at certain ages, people start bullying you. And because I didn't have a lot of confidence, people started bullying me. And these two guys used to follow me home every day from school and just torment me, just constantly in your ear, right behind you, walking behind you, and just telling you how how poor you are, how old house you live in. My God, your parents are so poor, and just all that stuff, and you feel ashamed, right? And when all this stuff is going on, and at that point, that went on for quite a few months, quite a long time. And on the inside, all you want is, all I ever wanted for, all this bullying to stop, right? And just to feel safe. And really inside, I was ashamed, right? Of being in an old, my parents not having a lot of money, being in an old house. And I wanted to, deep down, I think I wanted to grow up, be successful. So I never, ever had to be ashamed again, like I was as a kid. And anyway, so at school, I ended up hearing an announcement there's going to be this demonstration going on for karate. And, you know, I'm there with my two brothers, John and Don, and we're in the gym, and these two massive figures come in, right? They're wearing these white pajamas and, you know, black belts, and very impressive, super confident. And these guys go on to do this amazing demonstration. And just floored us, right? Me and my brothers, we signed up right away, and maybe weren't, you know, the most natural at first, but we were persistent, we loved it, we had passion for it, and over time, you know, we got better and better. And around the same time, you know, one of the teachers in school had introduced me to computers, and I wasn't a very good learner, but for some reason, you know, the computers, I was getting it. I could program, you know, my mind maybe couldn't spell, but I could really, you know, I could learn computer languages really easily, and it's very logical and very, you know, came very naturally to me. And, you know, decided eventually grades started going up, the bullying stopped as, you know, my confidence was growing because I was getting better in computers and I was getting better in karate. And then, you know, go to university, and then, you know, struggling again a bit, I must say, because again, not the greatest learner, and I picked the wrong program. I was, you know, went in a general environment, general science, didn't like it, wasn't passionate about it, almost flunked out, and then eventually, you know, fate stepped in and pushed me back into computer science for a complete era of administration at the university. And again, I loved it, and I started excelling at it again, and things started improving. And one day I get this letter from this guy named Dean inviting me to dinner at his place, and I was like, oh my God, like, kind of weird, you know, I'm a young guy, student, this man's inviting me over to his place for dinner. I'm telling my friends at school, and they're like, Rick, what the hell are you talking about? It's the dean. The dean's inviting you to dinner at his place, the dean of sciences. Turns out I had finished in the top 5 students of 6,000 science and engineering students at the university. But, you know, that little negative belief, right, at the back of my head said, well, you're not very smart, Rick, right? So you're stupid. So how could you ever, you know, achieve some of that? So just funny, right? That little, you know, that little voice, right, that's hidden, that makes you don't even realize when you are achieving. So anyways, around the same time, started practicing, started competing martial arts, doing better and better at different places, making it into the you know, championships at different things, and again, struggling at first, but building and, you know, trial and error, going, trying to do well, falling on my face, coming back, getting hurt sometimes, and then just going back and forth until at one point I won the provincial championships, and I won 2 gold and 2 silver medals at our national championships. So things, you know, started helping me get better, and I realized, you know, following my passion of computers and karate at the time, you know, martial arts in general, you know, was definitely the right path for me, right? And, you know, for me, it was the right path to go. And anyways, so I finished school, started a job in computers, main battle tanks. So if you ever Google Challenger 2 British main battle tank, that was one that me and some friends ended up programming, fun projects, had a lot of good times working on that. Eventually some other projects for the Canadian military, and then for the US military. And on the US military, I was working on this one project where I was programming this robot to load rounds in a main battle tank. And it ended up being a fantastic project, really hard, and you know that challenge when you love something, right? You just excel at it. And I just ended up working with some fantastic people, you know, doing a great job, I must say, you know, and working with this guy, Charlie, who almost killed himself 4 times in the project in different cases. Anyways, but that's his story for sorry, a different time. So anyways, at one point I figured out a better way of doing things, right? Even better than the folks that I worked on it, and they were telling me, not a chance. There is just no chance that you figured out a better way than us, because we've spent, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, 2, 3, 4 years just in the lab there, another, you know, 10 years, and trying to think about how to put this system together. Impossible. So they call a big meeting, and imagine a huge boardroom, right, with a massive table, one in the other. And on the other side of the table, there are like 2 PhDs in electrical engineering, 2 PhDs in mechanical engineering, 2 computer scientists, head computer scientists, the safety engineer, the 2 guys in charge of $1 billion project, project managers, everybody, U.S. Tank Tactical Command, everybody on one side of the table, and me alone on the other. And, I don't know, I'm like 21 years old at the time, 22 years old, and, feeling pretty intimidated, I must say, right? With a little scared with all those people, and then just going through this and saying, Richard, there's not possibility. So I, just describe my thoughts, how I figured out how to do, some of the stuff better. And the safety guy goes, nope, that won't work because of blah blah. And I said, I thought about it, I figured out a slight different way, and then he goes, yeah, that'll work. And then I hear silence. Nobody had an objection, and then they go, yep, you figured out a better way of doing it. And the funny thing is, like retrospect, moments in time in your life, when I think back, I think, man, that was the day I became a man, right? That was the day where, even though I was afraid, right? Even though I was scared inside, I still had the courage to stand up to say and do what I thought was right. And that's when I realized, though I was working in computers, that really it was the leadership and personal development skills I had learned from the martial arts that had given me that confidence and that courage to do the right thing that day. And that epiphany moment for me, right, was a moment in time that I said, I at that point I wanted to when I realized that I wanted to get better and improve. And though there's lots of personal development and leadership as part of the martial arts, it's still limited. So I was trying to look at where else could I find these strategies that would help me for the rest of my life. And started a new job and had this new boss, Randy, who told me about this guy called Tony Robbins. And he says, I purchased one of these guys' CD programs, I think it was Personal Power 2. And he said, I achieved all my 1-year goals, my 3-year goals, my 5-year goals, my 10-year goals. And he shows up and he just walked through everything that he did. And he did it in, I think in 3 years, he had achieved everything, even up to his 10-year goals. And I thought, man, I want that for me. So we made a plan. I went out and bought a bunch of Tony Robbins CDs, started going to his seminars, studying his books and other personal development books. And lo and behold, I did the same thing as my boss did. I got the same results. All of a sudden, in 3 years, I had achieved not only my 3-year goals, but my 5-year goals, my 7-year goals, my 10-year goals, all in that period of time. So it really made a difference, right, in my life. Now, I don't want to pretend that, everything was rainbows and butterflies now, right? Because it was a bumpy road from there to here at times, right? When we started out, at that point, my brother and I had a martial arts club together. We're all working full time. Things were starting to grow, and then we had a plan for him to go to Australia to learn an instructor martial arts program. He'd come back and we'd start a permanent dojo, but went down there, fell in love, and never came back. Go figure, right? Anyways, so at that point, I'm alone and really starting to struggle to put to keep the club going by myself, balancing, my day job, the wife, the kids, balancing everything was a little bit of struggle. So went back to those Tony Robbins concepts once again. And when I went through those concepts, I was able to then start getting balance and start, rebalancing and getting that success again. And then, several years later, my dad gets sick and he was dying of cancer and struggling and having a rough time. And, that's one of those moments in time where you just have to be there for someone, right? And I just had to be there for my dad. Anyways, unfortunately, he lost his struggle to lung cancer. And he passed away. And for me, he was, one of my best friends in the world. He was my mentor. And it was a really hard loss for me, right? And for a while, I actually felt lost. And then, luckily, I had some really great friends that helped me out. And then eventually I found some new mentors, right? And that was one of those key concepts, Tony Robbins. If you find a great mentor to help you, you can give back easier. You can, get success, right? And things can move forward for you quite a bit faster, right? And then, years went by and another bump in the road, right? My wife and I decided to call it quits and, went through a lengthy divorce. And, those things, if you've ever been through it, man, if you want to have something that'll stress you in life, death, and then, something like a divorce, it definitely affects you. And, it affects your mood. You maybe a little bit depressed because you're dealing with lawyers all the time and financial issues. I gained 25 pounds. I had stopped doing my personal development at that point because, you're completely focused on the divorce and how things there are going to go. And, I was afraid that I was going to, I wanted to keep that relationship with my girls, and I was afraid of losing their love. And so, again, had to take a lot of work on it, go back to those keys, life success strategies, rebuild those relationships, and, make them strong. And eventually, found a new girlfriend and got fit again. And, path in life goes by. Maybe another 5 years go by, and then at which point, that relationship, ended as well, and made some mistakes in terms of finances, of where I made certain decisions of what loans I put all on me instead of sharing. And anyways, I ended up with, $42,000 in debt. And tell you, that's that in itself, starts you down that path of thinking, holy crap, I'm in debt. I'm paying child support and spousal support, as well as having this other debt, and I have no assets to show for this. At the same time, I was getting older and thinking, geez, am I going to be alone for the rest of my life? And those doubts and things just tend to creep into your mind, and I know they're irrational, but they just tend to come in. Anyways. So that one, I doubled down once more, went back to all my old Tony Robbins success stuff, and then I went even beyond. I started studying, Napoleon Hill and, Think and Grow Rich, and a whole bunch of other books and strategies and people and success, and back to, Tony Robbins on money and finance to help me get back out of debt. And so that's two of his books on finance, Money Master the Game and Unshakable. And again, was able to work my way through, get completely out of debt, get back into a good place, feeling abundance. And I think it was within a week of being completely out of debt and thinking, man, life is good. And then I got a call from my boss, and lo and behold, I got laid off from my job. Turns out I was working at IBM. They were downsizing, and my whole department, bunch of my employees, me, we all got cut. And you're thinking, holy crap, decade and a half of late nights, weekends, working every extra hour, getting, Manager of the Year awards, getting perfect ratings from all of my employees every single year in a row, meant absolutely nothing, right? You're just tossed out in the street. And I tell you, that one is a big shot to your ego, right? As a man, you work that long, you build a reputation, and then just everything, it feels like the rug's been completely pulled out from under you. And then there's some serious doubts. How am I going to, take care of my family? How am I going to get another job? Do I have the right skills? My skill set was very specific to that company in terms of technology. Luckily, I had a lot of, leadership skills. But anyways, those doubts, again, those irrational fears jump in. Once again, take a step back, start breathing, and think, Rick, where was your path to success again in life? And it was always going back to practicing my martial arts, my personal development, success strategies, and following people who were successful before me. And then I go, okay, so went back, put together, and said, okay, let's drive back from my passions again. So again, those areas, and lo and behold, put together a, success strategies with martial arts, with fitness, all together in a system, right, in which we do success coaching, martial arts, and fitness. And it took, 25 years and, $50,000 to get there. But at the end of the day, it, helped me from, this was several years ago now, but it helped me even more make sure that I, stayed focused and having those good relationships with my family and friends that, make sure that I helped me lose that 25 pounds, stay fit and keep it off. That it helped me, go from $42,000 in debt to, having some money in the bank and, feeling a little bit of abundance, right? Dealing with loss, things like with my father and so on. And so also taking my martial arts business, applying all those concepts, and all of a sudden, growing by 50% in 4 months as soon as I started really applying those concepts there, and just overall helping my own confidence, right? For moving forward. And then we started using those same concepts with our students, right? And lo and behold, they did the same things that I did, and they started getting success. So whether that was with their health and getting fit or losing weight, whether that was with wealth and making sure that they had the finances and the resources to take care of their families, or in their relationships with their kids and their families. So, with me in my club, we have a lot of, father-daughter, father-son teams that come in and work out at this point, right? Helping build their relationships even stronger, right? So for me, though all those achievements are fantastic, really, it was what was really important was the transformation. Going from that scared kid, right, who's always afraid of failure because of what I'm told at school or as a kid or at work, right, over the years, and realizing that through the martial arts, through these success strategies, that I could build the confidence and build the skills, that I'm not afraid anymore to take risks, to fail, and then in those failures learn, grow, get better, and that's really the path to success. And for me, it's the growth and the journey that makes me happy. But I really realized is that it's me helping others in their success that truly gives me my fulfillment. That's where I get my real joy in life, right? Is helping others like you, right? Achieve your success in life and achieve what you want. And that's why kind of our reason for being, right? Our belief system, our value system now at Inner Hero Martial Arts and Fitness, we really believe, right? That you can grow into the best version of yourself, right? That you can create the successful life that you deserve, and that you do make a difference. You can make a difference and make the world a better place. Now, how we do that is by inspiring you to pursue your passion, right? By empowering you to believe in yourself, right? And what you can do. And by forging you to be unstoppable, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And that's why what we provide are success coaching, martial arts and fitness programs, where, proud parents can make sure that their kids grow up and know that they're going to be safe, right, and successful in life. That busy moms, right, who are the ones waking up early, doing the breakfast for the kids, sending them to school, working all day, making dinner, helping with homework, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, doing the groceries, all of that, can get away for an hour every once in a while and get out of their head and into their body, right? And just enjoy them, an hour where we just guide them and they don't have to think of anything, and they can relax and de-stress and, get in shape and lose some weight, right? And just get away from it all. Or professional dads, right, that can learn to protect themselves and their families and really, be able to achieve something. And at the end of the day, become heroes to their wives and kids. So that's what we do now, right? We help people, and just like you, and we are passionate about it. We love doing it, and it's why we get up in the morning every day. Anyways, that's our story of how we came up with this system and how, what it did for us and how we can help you. And anyways, I hope you have an amazing day today, and hopefully we'll see you in one of our lessons.